Deebo Samuel's reporting to minicamp, so can you confirm that for 6 weeks we talked about a story that was absolutely nothing? And when do you think we can expect a deal to get done between the Niners and him?
I think the best case for the 49ers is that we all wasted a lot of time. But let me just add, for those people who may be listening to me right now who do operate a daily, internet and radio show, Deebo Samuel was a pretty good dude for about 6 weeks.
Deebo Samuel was great for conversation fodder.
Yeah.
But did Dahn ever think a deal was going to get done here, or is this just a timing thing?
I'd still like to see what ends up happening here, right? Like, they've been very clear about not wanting to trade him, and I believe that because rarely would you have a GM say, I would be dumb to trade him, I'm not trading him, and then actually do it, right? You have people talk around things, but that was pretty clear. The 49ers have done a couple things. I know they've been talking to him the last couple of days, trying to get him to come in. So he comes into minicamp. He does not get fined $100,000, which is good because people don't like to get fined.
Is there voids that come with the missing of the mandatory minicamp, or just the $95,000 in fines? I saw that.
I believe due to failure to practice clause, the guaranteed money would be voided too.
Yeah, so everybody keeps saying it's $95,000, but it's much more than that, right? I mean, it's much more than that for most contracts.
Right, but for him, they're not going to cut him, so it doesn't matter. But yes, it does. For a lot of people, it would change some things. But so what the 49ers, I think, have done is try to say to him, we are not going to use you as a running back. They drafted a running back in the 3rd round. They have a couple good players, running backs coming back from last year. I think they'd like to use him on the gadget plays, but not give it to him between the tackles 15 times. That is something that actually speaks maybe louder than a new contract.
So what exactly does he want more? Does he want to be paid as a receiver, or does he want less carries and not to play running back?
Both. He wants to be paid as a receiver, and he doesn't, because this contract is great, but he doesn't want it to be his only contract. I mean, we see what happens to running backs. Like, they get beat up. And he doesn't. It's actually, really forward-thinking and smart. Like, it really is.
I agree. I concur completely, but if they would pay for him to be a top wide receiver and then sprinkle a little running back juice on there as well, I think all would be made well. Do you see a deal getting done here or no?
I think it is.
That's a no.
Yep.
They got a lot of work to do to get a deal done. I think it is possible, but it's not one of those where I would say, it's going to get done. Just wait 2 or 3, I'm not. This is it's a really, really hard one.
Who's in that world? Tyler?
I think, yeah. I mean, quarterback contracts generally get done, and they've been very clear about it, including on your show, I believe, right?
Yes, sir. Yep. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So that is one, I think. And there's, a couple other really good players that, we talked about it, like Cooper Kupp probably eventually gets a deal.
Metcalf.
There's a couple other really good ones.
Quentin Nelson, DK Metcalf.
Terry McLaurin.
Yeah.
Terry McLaurin's talking.
Jimmy G.
Jimmy G. Well, who knows? So.
Yeah.
Whoa.
He was he was excused from mandatory minicamp. Is that because they're done with him? Is that it? Huh? Don't even want it to be. We don't want anybody to even think that this isn't Trey Lance's team. Is that what it is?
No, I think it's just that. There's a couple of reasons. One, I don't know how much he was going to do anyway. Like, he's still rehabbing from the shoulder, so
okay.
No,
all parties involved think it's best.
There's not even a reason you should be here.
Yeah, because if they don't have doctors and trainers and physical therapists at the Niners, which it sounds like they don't, him getting his rehab for his shoulder elsewhere, probably the right move anyways, right?
Well, I think he went his own route on the rehab, and I think he's seeing his own people, so... But to have him stand out there and then everyone ask him questions, it's a weird situation. I know they'd still like to trade him. I know he'd still probably, I imagine, would like to be a starting quarterback somewhere and not have to fight for his job. It's just better to stay away until they figure this thing out.
Trey Lance is the guy, right? 100% now. This is a clear sign of that.
I might be crazy. But I still think there is a chance. Let's say Garoppolo gets cleared, not in not in 2 weeks, but in early August. What if he comes to camp and is the better quarterback in training camp? They have to start him. So I'm still keeping this open because if they can't trade him, he did lead them to the playoffs last year.
Yeah.
Right?
NFC Championship.
I remember watching.
Super Bowl. I mean, that motherfucker's been there.
Yeah.
So there's no crime in having a developing, really talented quarterback just wait a little bit longer.
But mandatory minicamp, you would think you would have the person back in the room. I mean, it's just.
It's not just. It's going to just stand there anyway.
Oh, so mandatory minicamp means nothing. Okay, so don't report about people missing any of this stuff then, please.
Well, you got to understand, we got nothing to do in.
There it is. Of course, here
we
go. Journalism. Go ahead, Tone.